Hello and welcome to another episode of Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario. Coach Mario, owner and head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing here in Miami, Florida. How's it going, guys? Happy Friday. Feliz Viernes Social. Feliz Viernes Social. Happy Friday. Social Friday to all my buddies and friends from Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario, all my subscribers, all those who listen. If you haven't subscribed yet, come on, guys. Let's get to 2,000 subs. We're almost there, right? Anyway, I know that most of you listening to this channel are either fans or haters of Subriel Matias, all right? Or lovers of the sport of boxing, knowledgeable boxing fans, some casuals there popping in from time to time. But right now, what I'm going to talk to you guys about regarding Subriel Matias is breaking news. Breaking news yesterday. Both Subriel Matias and Panda Najar finally come out and give interviews and talk a little bit about what happened, talk a little bit about their future plan. Spoke about, their first impressions or the answers to questions that have been on the mind of a lot of fans like ourselves, everybody that's been, speculating this happened, this other thing happened, this guy got drunk the night before, this guy didn't fight correct, he threw the fight, all these other comments and conspiracy theories that we've been talking about on this channel, and I never gave credence to any of them, as you all know. But it's good to talk about these things because people were commenting and people were saying that they had inside information and this and that. So I since I'm such a great fan of the sport, and I'm such a great fan of Subriel Matias, I had to discuss it in this channel and see what my listeners and what people would think about, all the comments and all the conspiracies surrounding Subriel Matias. Why did he lose at home to a fighter that it was really not an impressive fighter? Is a run-of-the-mill fighter who is not elite. So it boggles the mind. And so a lot of conspiracies came out, a lot of theories came out, and we all discussed them here. All right. So let's talk first about Subriel Matias' interview yesterday. I think it was an El Filósofo de Boxeo channel. And I don't think I have seen this guy too many times. Maybe I've seen once or twice. It seems that he's very well connected to boxers in Puerto Rico. He used to live in PR, and now he lives in Orlando, Florida. It was an interview done in Spanish. There's no interview done in English for Subriel Matias. So at least I think that what should have happened with this YouTube channel should at least had the subtitles in English, so that those fans around the world from Subriel Matias that have been wanting to follow up and find out what happened and had the same questions that I've had about Subriel Matias' performance, so they could also, be able to listen to what Subriel Matias had to say about the subject. But no, it was only Spanish. So today here, I'm going to talk to you guys about what he said, what the questions were, and how Subriel Matias had what Subriel Matias' perspective and his answer to what transpired the night of the fight and what has happened afterwards with his breakup with his 5-fight trainer, a trainer that helped him reach championship status, Panda Najar. All right, so Subriel Matias answered a few questions, and let me tell you something. If I would have been, let me not say that. I think anybody else would. There's a lot of questions that weren't asked by this guy, El Filósofo. A lot of questions that still remains to this day that about Subriel Matias. He seemed like he was throwing some softballs to Subriel Matias. Some of these questions he answered prior to Subriel Matias answering them. So he asked them as a statement, not as a question. But all in all, what Subriel Matias said was that he doesn't blame Pandar Najar, which is what I've been saying in this channel, that all the fault lays on Subriel Matias' shoulder. He doesn't blame Pandar Najar at all. He blames himself. He doesn't know what happened. He couldn't let his hands go. You know, he said that that Paro was the best fighter that night, that he had the best skills that night. That afterwards, you know, Paro, came and passed him walking. I don't know where, if it was in the event, in the arena, or somewhere else. I don't know where they crossed paths, and he was having some Heineken beers in his hand, and he said, "Hey, you want one?" And Subriel Matias said no, and basically, he laughed at that fact that this guy was celebrating while he was like, in agony, the agony of defeat. All right, in front of his home fans. So let me just summarize what he said, which he didn't say much. Subriel Matias did not say much. Subriel Matias said that the reason why he parted ways with Panda was because he wants to be closer to his family. We all know that, his daughters. That was really hard for him in Jiquipilco, being months and months away from his family, and that he decided to stay back at Puerto Rico, and that's the reason why he parted ways. He didn't blame Panda for nothing at all. He just said, I didn't listen to my corner. I did things my way, and I paid the consequences. So he was man enough to admit that he was wrong and that Pandar Najar had nothing to do with it. But at the same time, when asked about his future, when asked about, his perspective, what was going to happen next, he did speak about, some of his opponents coming forward. He said, Bill Haney, Chicken, the same kind of comments he's made about Teofimo Lopez, some of these other guys. And somehow now those comments don't have the same meaning that they did some months ago. Because the way he said it, it was like automatic way of answering some of these questions. But I think he lacks passion for the sport, guys. The way I saw it, he felt ashamed. I could tell by body language, looking at his body language, he felt embarrassed. He felt ashamed of what had happened. But his body language at the same time says that he's not going to be in this for a long time. He's not going to be doing this very long. All right. He wants to be with his family. And there's nothing wrong with that. I believe that if you want to be with your family, that's all good and great. But if you want to give them the best life available, and if you want them to actually, you want to reap those rewards of all those years, all those months, everything that you busted your ass for all these years, he didn't accomplish that. He did not accomplish that, because Subriel Matias has not gotten paid, not even $1 million, $500,000 in a fight. So, what is he going to do next? He's going to fight there's a few options there for him. He could fight, Ismael Barroso. He could fight some of these other fighters. Hopefully, they'll be able to get him some good fights. They're not going to be pay-per-view fights. They're not going to be championship fights. They're not going to be fights that make a lot of money for him. Can he get back to championship status? Maybe he can, maybe he can't. It depends on where he trains, how motivated he really is, which he seemed he was not. And I'm going to tell you guys something, all right? And I understand some people saying, well, Puerto Rico is going to be good for him. because his family's gonna be close by, and some guy that continues to say toma, toma. You know, I don't know how much this guy knows about boxing. I don't know if you've seen his channel, but guys, Puerto Rico, there's too much temptation in Puerto Rico for Subriel Matias. Too many distractions. No matter where he goes in Puerto Rico, there's nowhere he can go that it's gonna be a remote location where he's gonna be away from everything. Everything in Puerto Rico is close. Even in the mountains of Puerto Rico, you got everybody close by. I mean, it's an overpopulated country, island. There's about 4 million people living in an island 35 miles wide, 100 miles long. It's overpopulated. Everybody knows Subriel Matias. It's gonna be all, you know, it's his buddies, or you know, all these bad influences are only a minutes away from him. Even if he's training in the mountains, let's say Monte de Estado, or some of these other Ay Bonito, some of these little towns, it's a lot of people living everywhere. It's not like Quiquipilco, where he was, you know, isolated from his family and isolated from everything, just focused on boxing. He's not gonna find that in PR. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Toma guy. Toma. No, that's not gonna happen, brother. Go to Puerto Rico. I don't know if you've ever been there, bro, but let me tell you, Puerto Rico, wherever you go, you're gonna find temptation. You're gonna find things to do that you don't want to do. You want to, you know, look for partying and women and drugs and alcohol. Everything is like, you know, minutes away. And I can tell you, because I lived there for decades. I can tell you, man, it was a great distraction for me. During my fighting days, it was a great distraction for me. As a married man, it was a great distraction for me, and for everybody else that I know, that I live with. There's temptation all over the place. There's nothing wrong with enjoying life and everything, but if you're a fighter and you're on your last leg, your last years to make millions of dollars, going to Puerto Rico is a huge fucking mistake. I don't care if he brings Panda back to Puerto Rico. That's just part of the solution to becoming better. You know, would be the formula is Iquipilco, Panda, and isolation. That's a formula for Subriel Matias in order to succeed. That's what it is. Not Puerto Rico or Panda. He could have Freddie Roach. He could have anybody there in Puerto Rico to train him. It's too many distractions. Unless you keep him on 24/7 watch, which you're not. He's a grown-ass man. That's not going to happen. So another thing that really surprised me, another thing that I took from his interview is he did not apologize to the people of Puerto Rico. He did not apologize to his fans. He did not. He actually says something that I'm like, wow. He said everybody that has opinion, it's like assholes. Everybody's got one. What kind of way of talking to your fans is that? You know, and I could tell he was embarrassed, and I could tell he felt bad for losing. But be a man and say, hey, to all my fans, sorry for disappointing you guys. I'm gonna do a lot better. He didn't say none of those things. He didn't look passionate about the sport anymore. And some of the questions that this philosopher asked him, that dude asked him, he goes, oh, so some people saying that you were partying, and some people saying that you threw the fight, but I don't believe any of that. Let the guy answer the damn questions. We want to hear what he has to say about that. You know, even if it's false, these are comments that have been mentioned in every single YouTube channel I've seen out there. You know, there have been comments that people make in the chats for these YouTube channels, in my YouTube channel, people saying, oh, he threw the fight, he was partying the night before, he doesn't have any discipline, he doesn't listen to his coach, all these other things. We want to listen to Subriel Matias explaining these things. Well, he didn't say that. He didn't do that in this interview. He didn't come out and gave all his fans reasons to believe that he's coming back stronger, motivated. He didn't look motivated. He looked depressed. He looked, down. And maybe, and I know he feels embarrassed, and it's the first time he sees his public. So maybe we got to give him time so he can come back again in another interview, an impartial interview, an interview where they really ask him tough questions. Not a softball interview like the one they had with Filosofo. Nothing like that. All right, so that's my take on Subriel Matias on his interview yesterday. My take on Panda, if I thought that Panda Najar was one great coach before this interview, I think he's not only a great coach, but one hell of an individual. This guy cried on that interview yesterday. Watch it. It's in, I think it's in La Casaca Boxing Club, which is a great channel, great YouTube content about boxing. I follow those guys. These guys are not fighters. These guys were not boxers. These guys just, they're analysts and they love the sport of boxing. All right. So these guys, asked him, Panda, what happened? He goes, well, I had a conversation with Subriel Matias. We both talked, and he said that he really missed his family. He really wanted to miss his family. He really needed to be close to his daughters. He hadn't spent any time with his daughters, all this other stuff. And Panda says, and I understood. I understood that. So, we parted ways. So Subriel Matias fired him. That's the bottom line. Whether you say it in a good way or bad way, or, it was in good terms, but he let him go. He let Panda go. Are there possibilities of Panda coming to Puerto Rico and training Matias? Maybe. Will that make a difference? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think the formula, like I said, is Jiquipilco, isolation, focus, and Panda. Or maybe another place. Listen, guys. Listen. We got to stop fooling ourselves. Bottom line is, every single great fucking legendary fighter has done the same thing. They've done this kind of sacrifice where it took them away from their family. They went. Muhammad Ali went to what was it? Big Bear. What was the name of that place where he used to go and train up in the mountains alone with all his sparring partners and his coach? And what did Muhammad Ali used to say? Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. And Subriel Matias doesn't want to go through that. Subriel Matias wants best of both worlds. You can't have best of both worlds. You gotta bust your ass now, man. And it's what I tell my fighters, guys. You can have, be a half-assing, train one day, not train the other day, go party one day. No, you can't do that shit, man. In boxing is relentless. And my quote, one I responsible for talking about it, and a quote that I've made up years ago was, the best lie detector is inside the ring. You see your fighter inside the ring, if he worked out, if he ran, if he did cardio, if he worked the bag, you can tell immediately if this guy trained properly, if he had great technique, with his coach, if they worked on strategy, if he had a plan A, plan B, all these things you can tell in a fight from a fighter. So it's the best lie detector inside the ring. And I tell that the guys when they come and spar. And they tell me, I've been running every day, coach. Well, I haven't seen you here at the gym. And then you have them sparring, they gas out after a couple of rounds. Oh, you haven't been running, bro. You haven't been running. Don't lie to me. You're lying to yourself. So, J Panda loves Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias loves J Panda. There is a good relationship, family relationship. They both respect each other. They both love each other as family. I believe J Panda said the first world champion he's ever helped achieve world championship status is Subriel Matias, and he'll never forget that. He's very grateful. He goes, if they asked me to come to Puerto Rico and be his coach, I would be willing to think about it. But like I'm saying, it's not going to matter. It's all about Subriel Matias' mindset. And Subriel Matias' mindset, the way he looks to me, bro, this guy's out of it. His mind is really not into it anymore. Why? And you tell me, if I was his promoter and I have my fighter saying, man, I'm homesick, I miss my family, I've been over here in Hijipico for months and months and months, I still don't have a date, bring your damn family over. The promoter, bring your family, let them spend a week with you. You know, you go train and go home. Up in the mountains without any distractions. Why can't you do that as a promoter? I mean, what? That is common sense. Because when you don't do that, the results are what you saw in Puerto Rico, in front of his fan base, in front of his people, and that's another thing. Subriel Matias said that when they asked him, the philosopher asked him, so which is your hardest defeat? He goes, oh, the Anayan fight. How can that be your toughest defeat when you lost in front of your people, man? You lost in Puerto Rico. You let your people down. People came from all over the states and other parts of the world to see you fight. Hardcore fans, and you don't even thank them? And you don't even apologize to them on this interview? Now, guys, I mean, I want the best for Subriel Matias. I really want him to be successful. It doesn't seem that way to me from that interview. It seems that his I don't know if that's just my impression. Guys, let me know what you guys think. Watch the whole interview. Watch Pandar Najar's interview. Tell me what you think. Am I wrong? And for those guys that are new to this channel who say, oh, why are you saying this about you're a hater of Subriel? I'm a hater of Subriel. Look at all my episodes about Subriel Matias. Years I've been talking about Subriel Matias in a positive way. I've been saying for so long, this guy has so many attributes that he could be a generational fighter, a great fighter, a multi-division champion. All these other things I've been saying about Subriel Matias. I'm just not a fucking bullshitter. I tell you things how they are. And when I'm coaching one of my guys, I can love my fighter, but I tell him the truth. And if he's losing, I tell him, hey, you lost that round. Oh, really, coach? I thought, no, you lost. You lost. You better come in the next round and you better do something different. And this is what you're going to do. And you better stick to this. And I give him the strategy to go out there. I'm telling you, Pandar Najar did that with Subriel, and Subriel didn't give a shit. He did his own thing. He mentioned bringing in, some rapper that he's, that he's been a fan of for many years. Come on, man. Come on. Be respectful. All right. That gave a really bad vibe that day you came in with this dude. It's not about the music. It's not about this. You lost all kind of humility there, and now you look like you've been humbled. Bible says those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who are humble will be exalted. And that is the reality, guys. And in boxing, like I said before, best lie detector is the ring. So anyway, guys, tell me what you think. I really don't think Subriel Matias is in his head, is not into this anymore. I don't see it, guys. I see him doing a couple of good fights, you know, beating some low-level guys, but I don't think he's gonna get good shots. Hopefully he will. Imai Barroso is something he could get. He could get like a, you know, interim title and then, you know, go for a title. I don't know, guys. They can brush him to the side like they've been doing. His promoter, I don't know, man. And he said he's very loyal to his promoter, but there's some things there that are kind of shaky. And I would have addressed them, or somebody else would have addressed them in a better way. I think he has been limited by his promoter, local promoter in Puerto Rico. And I think that Eddie Hearn now is, you know, push him to the side and is focused on bigger, better things. Some of these other fighters from Australia, you know, which is a big fan base of boxing, maybe fight, you know, Liamparo versus Catterall versus Prograis winner. And isn't that funny? Prograis, who's been out of the game for a while, gets a big fight with Catterall, but Subriel Matias, who loses, doesn't even get a rematch with Paro or a fight with one of these guys. So I don't know, guys. You know, it's a hard road. It's back to the end of the line. So Subriel Matias, he doesn't look like that vicious killer fighter anymore. At least it's in his body language. Maybe it's that he feels embarrassed. But, you know, I guess time will tell. But anyway, guys, this is all I have for now. Let me know what you guys think. Please comment below, like, share, subscribe. But for the time being, I wish you guys an excellent weekend, excellent Friday. My wife is competing tomorrow. She's a bodybuilder. She's going to be competing at a local event here. Hopefully she'll take first place. She looks ripped like there's no tomorrow, but I wish her all the luck. I'll be there, all right? And then she has nationals, a pro event in Pittsburgh. So she is a warrior. And that's what I've been talking about it. She is committed. And I told my guys the other day when I introduced her to everybody, I said, look at my wife. Shredded, muscular. She gets up every morning at 3:30. She works out. She owns a business. She owns a gym. She works 60 plus hours a week, and she still finds the time to train. There's no excuses, guys. But anyway, I don't want to stop rambling and talking and speculating things, man. You know, I just want to know what your opinion is. Let me know. Like, share, subscribe. But until next time, this is Coach Mario, owner, head coach of Warriors Pride, with another episode of Inside the Ropes, saying, hasta la vista, God bless you all, and peace.